G'day and welcome to the Big Bus Tour and Travel Guides YouTube channel and amazing Longreach here in central Queensland. Now, I got to tell you, this town is famous for a number of Australian icons, and we're going to bring you 10 top things to do around Longreach and the town of Winton. We're going to meet the pioneers of Australian flight at the Qantas Founders Museum. We're going to check out the Australian Stockman's Hall of Fame. We're going to get on the trail of some prehistoric critters and ride high with Cobb & Co. It's all coming up. Let's get into it.
But before we hit the road, take a moment to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more amazing travel ideas. Longreach is located in the heart of the Queensland Outback, 13 hours drive from Brisbane or 7 hours from Rockhampton. It's first and foremost an agricultural town, but has become increasingly popular as a travel destination. Start your visit with a stroll down the bustling main street, which is lined with period buildings, shops and cafes. You'll notice the Drovers, which were originally part of the human factor sculptures created for World Expo 88 in Brisbane. There are also informative interpretive boards that share some of the town's backstory. Long before planes, trains and automobiles, the mode of transport in the Outback was Cobb & Co. And we're joining Outback pioneers on their Cobb & Co Stagecoach experience, which departs from the Qantas Co station store on the main street.
We get you on there, get you out of town. It's going to be a bit rough, dusty, all that kind of stuff. It's as close to the real deal as we can possibly give you. You'll see it all, you'll feel it all, and if you open your mouth at the wrong time, you will taste it all too. That's just part of it.
This is one of Longreach's most popular experiences and one of a kind. It's the only ride of its type in Australia that gets up to a full gallop. The coaches have been meticulously restored, and pretty soon we're loaded up and ready to roll. The horses are magnificent and beautifully kept. We enjoy a short trot through town before heading out along a section of the old Longreach Winton mail route. Now, it was a tradition on the route in days gone by for passing coaches to stop and have a bit of a yarn.
All right, how you going, Bill?
Yeah, not too bad, mate, not too bad.
Where you heading with this lot?
Oh, back into Longreach there.
I heard they started a new old people's home up in town.
Yeah,
Yeah, I heard they're dying to get out of it too.
All too soon, it's time to return to town, but not before we get to experience the true meaning of horsepower. The Cobb & Co Stagecoach experience also includes a classic movie and old-time tent show, both of which are a lot of fun. Now, all of those who opened up the Outback and continue to make a life on the land are celebrated at the Australian Stockman's Hall of Fame. It recently launched an immersive audio experience, which gives you a choice of beautifully produced stories to listen to relevant to where you are in the museum. Learn about the lives of early explorers, cameleers, merino and cattle graziers, and stockmen and women. There's a gallery dedicated to the legendary Royal Flying Doctor Service and the vital role it plays in Outback life. If you're visiting between April and October, upgrade your entry ticket to include the excellent live Stockman show. an engaging demonstration of stockman skills and horsemanship, and the role of man's best friend in keeping the flock in line. Longreach is possibly best known as the early home of Qantas, and the Qantas Founders Museum is a must-see, encompassing a heritage hangar, air park and evening light show called Luminescent Longreach. There's a lot to cover on a visit here. We caught up with Luminescent Longreach coordinator Sarah to find out more.
So when you arrive, you'll be greeted by some lovely customer service girls and boys, and they will check you in, make sure that you're going into the right area because there's lots of different products that we have here. And then you'll spend the day either in the museum, out on an air park tour, potentially walking along the wing of the 747, seeing Luminescent Longreach, visiting our galleries, heading out to the hangar, having a cup of tea in our restaurant, or visiting the gift shop.
All right, now tell us about the air park tour.
When you do the air park tour, you'll be taken with a tour guide and a group into the air park, and you will see 4 aircraft. So you'll see the 707, the 747, the DC-3 and the Super Constellation, and it goes for an hour and a half.
Do you get to go on board the 747?
You do. So you go completely underneath the belly. You can stand up inside the engines. There's only 2 places in the whole world where you can stand inside of an engine. One's in South Africa and the other's right here in Longreach. You can also walk on the wing, which is the only place in the world where you can do it. So yeah, we offer some pretty amazing experiences. I want to tell you a little bit about our roof actually, because it's so amazing and it's brand new. It was a 12-year project, and finally last year in March we were able to have guests experience it. So now we can actually protect these aircraft, keep our guests in the shade.
Don't miss seeing where it all began in the heritage-listed hangar. It was here that Qantas began its journey from fledgling Outback mail service to one of Australia's greatest companies.
What would be your favourite part of the museum?
It sounds biased, but I'm going to say the light shows. It's like my little baby, of course I'm going to say that, but honestly it is sensational. It really does pull on heartstrings, especially that 747, and just watching the story of Qantas on the side of it, it's like nothing else.
Just describe that experience for people, what they can expect.
Yeah, sure. So they'll arrive after we shut, as we have to wait for sunset, and then head into the round where they will watch the light show. And so it goes for about 25 minutes, and you watch what is essentially the last 100 years of Qantas told through light show projections.
There's one more museum to check out during your visit to Longreach, the Powerhouse, which is located just a short walk from the main street. Housed in a decommissioned power station, which still holds its massive generators, the museum is a photographer's delight. You'll see a sizable collection of objects and artefacts relating to the history of the town. It's a fascinating step back in time. Take a wander through the 1918 homestead, which was relocated to the museum from a local cattle station. It will give you a new appreciation for the wonders of modern plumbing. Our next stop is the town of Winton, just on 2 hours' drive northwest of Longreach. It's home to a museum that's at the forefront of research into Australia's prehistoric megafauna. The Australian Age of Dinosaurs sits on a rocky plateau known as a jump-up, a few kilometres from town. The landscape you see today is very different to that existed 100 million years ago, and it's yielding fantastic evidence of our native dinosaurs. Grace Elliott from the museum took some time out to tell us what visitors can expect.
G'day, my name's Grace. I'm the Education Coordinator and Social Media Human here at Australian Age of Dinosaurs. This is my 8th year working for the museum and I'm a Winton local. So what we do is we start you off in our working laboratory, which is the fastest and most productive fossil lab in the Southern Hemisphere. These are the remains of an animal that has wandered down into a muddy billabong. They've gotten stuck in the mud, passed away, and then scavengers have come along and scattered the remains. And what's actually happened is the surrounding sediments have latched on to the calcium in the bones and slowly converted it. So now the bone is more rock than bone, but there are still traces of the original calcium, there are still traces of the original bone, and for the most part it does still retain its original shape. From the lab, you then go to our collection room. We have 3 holotype remains, so the first of their kind, the benchmark for that species. From there, you then go down to Dinosaur Canyon, which is where we house life-size bronze statues of Australian fossils in the modern native environment, and the March of the Titanosaurs. So the March of the Titanosaurs is about 70 metres worth of footprints made by these big sauropods, our big long-neck plant-eating dinosaurs.
The guided walk through Dinosaur Canyon is hot work, so bring a good hat, plenty of sunscreen and a refillable water bottle. There are interactive elements along the way for dinosaur enthusiasts large and small, and you may like to get a bit more hands-on.
So we run a training program called Prep a Dino, where anyone over the age of 12 who's interested can come out and be trained up in how to identify the difference between rock and bone, how to prepare the specimens out of the earth, and fix broken bones as well. So the actual process with Prep a Dino is you're looking for colour, pattern or texture changes to let you know what's rock and what's bone. You're coming in with your tool and you're colouring in the rock or dirt that's covering the fossils, leaving the bone behind.
You've got a book.
I do.
Tell us about it.
So I didn't actually know I was writing a book to begin with. I got a message from the boss with a series of terms and phrases relating to paleontology that she wanted me to write up an explanation for, geared more towards your younger children, so your 5 to 8 year old sort of a range bracket. So here's my little book, which is very exciting.
Will you sign our copy?
I will sign your copy.
Pick up a copy of Grace's book from the gift shop. Winton itself is a great spot to spend a couple of days. The main street is lined with period gems, including 3 classic Outback pubs. Dinosaurs may have put Winton on the map in recent years, but this town has another claim to fame. It's the birthplace of a song that captured the heart of a nation. Waltzing Matilda was penned by Banjo Patterson on a cattle station near Winton in 1895. The town's Waltzing Matilda Centre celebrates that fact and is a must-see. The on-site art gallery exhibits paintings of the landscapes that no doubt inspired Patterson's famous tale. Also located in the main street is the historic Royal Theatre, believed to be one of only 2 open-air picture houses in the country. The other is located in Broome. The theatre has recently undergone a makeover, and movie memorabilia discovered during the renovation has been put on display in a small museum in the foyer. Check the theatre's website for screening details and settle in to watch the stars under the stars. It's hard to grasp just how remote Winton is, but it becomes abundantly clear during a scenic flight over the region. Elite Aviation Services offers a number of flight options which depart from Winton's airport. From up here, the town is soon swallowed up by the vastness of the outback, and the flat, arid landscape seems to extend to infinity in every direction. This flight turns out to be one of the absolute highlights of our trip. We have one final experience to share with you, and that's back in Longreach. The town gets its name from the long reach of the Thomson River, and Outback Aussie Tours Drover's Sunset Cruise is a wonderful way to experience the tranquil beauty of this life-giving waterway. The experience begins with hotel pickup, and before too long we're on board the Longreach Explorer and underway, accompanied by commentary from our knowledgeable captain. Now, it wouldn't be a sunset cruise without sundowners, which are available for purchase from the bar. Snacks are included in the cost of the cruise, and you can pair this experience with a fabulous two-course dinner and show afterwards at Smithy's Riverside Camp. But for now, all eyes are on the setting sun. And there's no doubt we have the best seats in the house for the grand finale. For more ideas for amazing things to do in Longreach and Winton, visit our website.